must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa from the Political Command Center, miles away from Miriam. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Good morning, Miriam, wherever you are. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm mixing the time because of the time, the type of weather that we are in and the climate changes that we have today. But good morning, Miriam. This is Punchline. This is Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya, back there in the headquarters in Nairobi. Thank you very much. I am Dr. Matsanga from the Political Command Center of Punchline Africa Television, miles away from the great Miriam in the studio. Thank you very much. Otherwise, viewers, wherever you are, this is the People's Court. In this show, we tend to look at, today we want to see how can we flatten the curve of corruption. Can Kenya flatten the curve of corruption before 2022? Can we weed out corruption completely? Can we leave a country united? Can we look at the things, invest in peace, other than investing in violence? Can we invest in people to change their hearts to reconcile? Can we invest in people not to become warmongers, but to become peacemongers? Those who want to preach peace, like me. Those who have seen difficulties, like me. I don't want to see any more bloodshed. I don't want to see any more violence. I don't want to see people fighting each other. I've seen enough. From 1966, I was already born on planet Earth. I was 11 years old when I saw my first violence in Uganda. When Kabaka Mutesa was overthrown from the palace, Uganda went into chaos. So when I preach peace, it means I've walked a distance. I've walked kilometers. I've walked millions and millions of miles to reach where I am in this age of my age. Therefore, when I cry for peace, don't turn me into an enemy. I'm only trying to tell you that don't take the portion that I have taken. Don't take the burden that I have carried. Don't carry the burden that I have carried of losing parents without knowing where they were buried. Don't carry the burden of losing a wife without knowing where she was buried. Don't carry it. Kenyans, don't carry it. Don't exchange bad words. Just unite, unite, unite. Thank you very much. Good morning, Miriam. Good morning in Marindi. I don't know whether we are on.
We are on.
It seems we are on the two of all. There she is, smiling.
Yes.
She was still waiting for me to hand over the baton. The back, by the way, stops at you, not me. That's the Roosevelt, the president of United States of America, who apparently died very badly, says the back stops at the state at where. But the back here, events in Kenya have worried everybody. Everybody waking up is saying, what's going on? You can't speak like that very confidently unless you have a plan B, which we must now investigate and scrutinize. All those security agencies be on alert. Plan B could be in offing. I am old, I've grown old now. I cannot afford another 3-5 years walking towards a plane to go understand. I can't shout the way I used to shout in 2013, 2012, 2010, 2009, 2008. Formidable man, walking the stairs of the plane, going and coming back, at times having no food but only coffee. I can't manage. So I appeal to my Kenyan friends that I'm not a Kenyan, but I've seen quite a lot of baggage on me. Those who laugh at me, you never know. You never know. The world is just a small thing like this. It can change everything that you have had. One small thing like this changed our lives. In 1985, Saturday morning, 27th of July, 1985 at 10 o'clock. Our lives changed. Some of us who had property was taken, fathers were killed, wives were raped, then later on killed. We have a history. And when we tell you these stories, listen to us, ye Kenyans. Don't insult us. Don't insult me because I tell the story like Paul was telling the story in Judea. I will go away. I might be persecuted first. I might be hated and killed first by those who think I am interfering. But believe me or not, you need unity. It is not the tribes that are fighting. It's a few malcontents, few characters. They are called malcontents because they are no longer salt. They are malcontents. Uchafu. Few characters. It's not Kalenjin, Kikuyu fighting. No! They are not. There are few people that the government this time must wake up and pick early enough and give them punishment. Whether whichever side you are talking from, I don't have any mercy. Because you didn't go to the Hague to remove these people. You wanted them killed. So whichever side you are on speaking from, I suffer. I am the only person eligible here to talk now because I was there and I don't want to see it again. That's why I'm preaching today. Hallelujah. I don't want to see it again. Don't blame me for being a Ugandan and saying it. Because I was a Ugandan and I came and I saw Kenyans allowing Ocampo to take people on fake evidence. This time, there is no fake evidence because you are doing it. What if Fatu Besuda has been waiting is this scenario. Hello? Fatu Besuda has been waiting for this scenario. Don't tell me I did not tell you. Don't tell me I did not tell you. Even if you have billions and billions and billions and billions, I swear, don't tell me I did not tell you. You might not eat them. She was waiting for this scenario here. So these guys who are speaking now, whoever is sending them to speak, all what the woman is looking for is one thing. She wants to have evidence. She wants to crack the telephones. She has the powers to crack the telephones from any angle of international intelligence system. I swear she will get the evidence and you will be nowhere. Just like that, you will be nowhere. So I want my brothers who are making these speeches, inflammatory speeches, speeches of involving family, harassing women, Our mothers should be respected. Why do you harass a lady who doesn't even do anything? She has never come to public. She's not like a Grace Mugabe. You don't see her like a Grace Mugabe. Very quiet mama, an old woman seated at home, a citizen. She's made a country. You attack her. And you think others cannot be injured by your attacks. Let people attack, concentrate. We are not on this side, those who believe in the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, answering such people with the same type of attacks is not in our tongues. No, we are not, some of us are not going to answer a matatu tout. A matatu tout, a man who was touting passengers to be answered by a doctorate of my nature, which I studied. A man whose English and which Twitter is being written for. Someone writes your Twitter and you are humbly opening your white teeth, telling people that, I have written a tweet. Wewe, Oscar Sudi, wewe nyamaza wewe. Nyamaza, you don't even have weight to fight. Unazungumzia huko sababu huko na bodyguards. Bwana, wewe kama wanakuacha kwa kiwanja hapa kupigana na watu ndume, huwezi kupigana. Kwa nini utafute wa mama, unatafuta mama? Tafuta mwanamume like mimi tuanjane kwa Nyayo Stadium nikugonge uone. Well, this is my friend. I thought he had brains. Simple, small brains. You know? A man who drives a good Range Rover like my Range Rover, then he talks stupid. Better even. Oh my God. Thank you very much, viewers. Let's come back to the topic. And before we go to the topic, Miriam, now I've finished. I needed to breathe that air out. That anger is everywhere in the nation of Kenya. And the more demonstrations, more women have come up. Women from both sides don't want them to be used as guinea pigs. No. All women, whether ADM, whether what current, they are all upset. Talk about your politics. If you want to attack President Uhuru Kenyatta, do it. But don't attack his mother. Well, Mr. Sudi, if I were Sudi, I would go to national TV and apologize quickly so that maybe the treatment can be lesser. We need judges like Judge Juma, who can hammer somebody 3 years for hate speech. Akue Uko loses the constituency. Never. Neno, I like the way Kanu has done it. And now, the judges hammer this man 6 months and above, 5 or 6 months. He will never step in parliament in his life. Sindio wanasema he can have another party, some stupid malcontents, mujahadins are online saying, oh, he will switch another party and win. No, we shall block him. He will never. This time the EACC should not clear such people. Yes, the MPs in parliament now, before you go, change the law. Even reduce it. If you have had a hate speech, you don't come to parliament. You have a crime like a courier, like all these guys, all of them who speak stupid things. They should not come to parliament. Yes. Because you are a leader. What you speak is your child, your children over 18 years in your constituency believe in. You should not step in parliament. Neno Sudi should never be elected in parliament. Let Kenyans take a step like that. And if you want to know how bad the body tongue is. Get on a plane and visit Rwanda. Get on a plane and go to Rwanda, where this man here from Kapsaret. Take a flight to Kigali and see how bad speech of your mouth, which is not even brushed. I don't think you even brush. So get on a plane and deliver yourself in Rwanda. Watch how bad speech and hate speech has killed people. Then you come back and thank me that I'm just warning you. But I'm telling you, if people have been looking for the fastest way to arrive to the Hague again, part 2, let anybody not condemn. Let anybody just praise Sudi and Angeno at night. Even those telephones are being listened to. Yes, those telephones are being listened to. Don't think you have no evidence. You can change your telephone handset, but not the voice. And even the locations, you can't. The chief, they will get it. Were you not surprised, Miriam, didn't you and the panel? Didn't you see the chief prosecutors even bringing the location? The satellite in America sees where you are calling from. So don't think you are calling from your daughter's phone or your son's phone. Think again. Think again. Think again. Emperor Nero called for fire, fire, fire. Every time he said fire, yes, fire, fire came and burnt Rome. Don't leave that legacy of Emperor Rome, of Nero of Rome. Thank you very much. Back to you, Miriam. Get peace. Unite as Kenyans. Don't preach violence. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, there, Doctor, for that introduction. Professor Jared, a very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, good morning, Miriam, and the rest of the viewers and our panelists.
All right. And Karen from Malindi. Karen, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning, Dr. Matsanga. Good morning, Professor Jared, and our viewers.
Any news from the coast that we should know about?
I have the weather from the coast, and if there are any news, I will keep you updated.
Can you bring us the weather, and then we can continue with the rest of the show, please?
Okay. So today, the temperature here at Malindi will range from 23 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius, and it's now 10:35. It's mostly sunny, and the temperature here right now as I speak is 27 degrees Celsius. And at 11, it will still be mostly sunny, and the temperatures will be at 28 degrees Celsius. At around noon, it will still be mostly sunny. Temperatures will be 29 degrees Celsius. It will remain at 29 degrees Celsius from noon to around 2 p.m. And then at 3 p.m., it will be partly cloudy. The temperatures will be at 28 degrees Celsius. At 4 p.m., still partly cloudy. The temperatures will be 27 degrees Celsius. At around 5 p.m., it will be at 26 degrees Celsius, constant 26 degrees Celsius from 5 p.m. till 6 p.m. And we have the sun setting here at around 6:19, exactly 6:19, and it will be at 26 degrees Celsius. At around 7 p.m., it will be cloudy, and the temperatures will be at 25 degrees Celsius. The humidity right now as we speak is at 65%. So that's the weather for us today here. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Ours here in Nairobi is just one word, cold, so we don't even need to get into the details of it, but thank you so much. And before we get into the topic of the day, Kenya, the cases of COVID-19 right now stands at 35,356 cases. The death toll is 599, and recoveries is 21,483 cases. So we're doing much well there in terms of the people who are recovering. And in Uganda, the figures is 3,900. The death toll has risen to 46. Yesterday, they were at 41. And then the people who have recovered is 1,817. And I was just reading another news item this morning on the BBC. I think the government of Uganda there is preparing now a small stadium to just get ready in case the numbers go further. Then they'll be prepared to handle any kind of a surge, if at all it will, because as it has been going, they are beginning to get worried. And now the total figures in Africa this morning is 1.3 plus million cases, and the number of people who have died in the continent is 31,504, and recoveries are over 1 million people there. So let's just leave that at that, because we have so much to talk about. And I see, Doctor, what you, the appeal you've been making this morning. I think perhaps Kenyans, we don't appreciate the importance of peace. That's why our leaders might not be very aware that whatever they say out there, especially our political leaders, Kenyans take a lot of these things they say very seriously, and unfortunately, so when they out there in public and then they don't care, they don't put a lot of thought in the things that they say, that some Kenyans will take to heart. It's very dangerous, and is setting the country in a very bad pace. And as a Kenyan, I think this is worrying. I am worried, and I think our politicians should be able to just get a hold of themselves. Even if you have to express yourself, the misunderstandings that we have right now. That is the nature of democracy. The political dynamics, they change. But we should be able to do that with a lot of decorum and a lot of thought, that our supporters are actually watching us and might take some of these things we say very literally. So, Doctor, that is the point you're trying to emphasize there earlier, and it's just an appeal we have to make now to our leaders out there. So on the front pages there of the Star newspaper, Raila to Ruto, don't take Kenyans to war. DP on Monday night condemned attacks by MP Sudi and Ngeno on the first family. And Professor, a doctor has given a bit of that. I don't know, what is your take on this?
Miriam, I'm equally in the same page with Dr. Masanga and the rest of Kenyans. Let us do politics, and I say let us do politics of hygiene. And I've said in this country, by the time we learn to go an election, choose leaders, and spend more time, the 5 years, to develop this country, Miriam, will be very far. It is absolutely reckless and uncalled for to drag people who are not in politics, people who are not your equal, like now dragging the first lady, former first lady, Mama Ngina. Do you know what that old mama has undergone? Do you know when Jomo was in prison for more than 9 years, staying without her husband? The president died when the current president was led to a young guy around 15 years, Miriam. And she has prepared his son to be a president today. So Miriam, as Dr. Masanga has put it, error is human, you can make mistake. Take an opportunity. Come forward and say, guys, I have erred, fellow Kenyans, Paul and Mama, and never to repeat again. That's what a civil society does, Miriam. Miriam, when I talk about what peace is, you don't find people try to talk peace and then you think that they have not gone a journey. Dr. Masanga has told you. Miriam, in 1992, we were displaced from Moro. That's where I was brought up. And we have never gone back. We lost parents in between. So, Miriam, Peace is very important. And our leaders should be very, very, very responsible. And remember, as rightly said, the ICC which are ported, which is struggled, and many of us from the back, we struggle to ensure that that case never goes on. In fact, now there's enough evidence to take someone to egg and be armored more than 30 years. But we want to build a country, Miriam. The Prime Minister and the President have said, guys, let us talk. When people talk and have a conversation, Miriam, I have never heard the President talks about 2022 politics. He has divorced himself. So going to an extent of abusing the old mama, Miriam, that is uncalled for. That mama is a grandmother. She's a mother of somebody. And people take it personal when you abuse their mothers. And Miriam, that one is enough for war. You have never known how you can abuse someone's mother or her mother, what can do. It is a recipe for war. So let us avoid this. Let us do proper politics. Let us not involve people who are unwanted. You see how the mamas of this country and other people have been annoyed from all over the world. And it is high time that people go to school proper. The idea of people wanting to buy a certificate, and that's why I always say, Miriam, members of parliament, the fact that they are doing oversight role, you must have a certain level of education. You see, he put a certificate to say that he's educated. See what the kind of brand is doing. Because education opens your mind and you know how you dress your seniors. Very unfortunate and called for. Miriam, I joined Dr. Masanga in asking Honorable Sudi that apologize to Mamangina and the rest of the country.
Yes, Karen, I think, will it be proper, because we've seen also a lot of Kenyans asking for the Member of Parliament for Kapseret to come out and say, you know what, for everything else I said in that, but I think perhaps I should not have dragged the name of a president's mother in that conversation that really had nothing to do with her. Would it be proper for Sudi to personally or make a personal apology to the mother of the president and also our leaders generally? Should they be very careful about what they utter in public, because they might set this country on a place where we might not even be able to come back. We were lucky we came out of it in 2007, 2008, their post-election violence, but that is a route that we are not very keen on following.
Yes, Miriam, it will be very proper, and I join hands with those who are saying that he should come out and apologize, because not only has he insulted our mama, but he has insulted every woman in this country, every mother in this country. That is something that he has to know, and that's why everyone is furious. Everyone is against what he said. So not only did he direct it to our mother, Mamangina, but to every other mother in this country, and that is very wrong. You just don't say anything to a mama like Mamangina, and not only Mamangina, but every woman out there. So it is proper for him to apologize. It is also gentle of him to do so. It's that at least will make people feel like he was sorry. That's the only way he can prove it to us that from the deepest part of his heart, he really regrets what he said. Because Professor Jared just said here that they were displaced in 1992. Now, look at 1992, and we also had the same thing in 1997. We also had something similar in 2007. So people do not learn. They forget very fast. It has happened 3 times or even more, but they forget so fast, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So I condemn this whole thing that could spike a lot of conflict and chaos in the country. So whatever it is that we are saying is, if they should come out and express themselves, let them have boundaries, and let them remember that they're yes. So I condemn the drums of war.
Yes, Doctor, the Star newspaper this morning, and this is something that you've been talking about every now and then here. And now Raila to Ruto, don't take Kenyans to war. DP on Monday night condemned attacks by MP Sudi and Ngeno on the First Family. These drums of war, why are we flattering with that?
Miriam, there is nowhere where Raila has told people is going to be a presidential candidate. I don't know why people are panicking. Why is Ruto panicking? The Jubilee Party has not selected a presidential candidate. There's a procedure. Let's wait until there is declaration. Then we can fight politically and peacefully. Persuade people to win the vote. It is very sad, therefore, for us to engage in activities that can bring us dishonor when we have not even cleaned our election register. Remember, we have not cleaned the election register. It is the cause of our problems. 1992, 97, to the only time that we had problems squared out, came out openly, and we did not complain, was 2002. 2007, it erupted again because of this type of bad mouth and the motor machines that talk as if they have motors in their tongues. But behind all this, there is one thing that I want to bring to you. As a man who analyzes systems, the Kenyan government should be very careful about the statements by follow the MP of Kapsaret. Follow all those who have threatened the state before, who have said, we shall see. The intelligence system should not sleep on the job. Check these guys, especially that one who is always around Malaba border and the Busia border, and collecting youth from as far as Kisumu to his house. What is he telling these youth? May we know. Can it click now to our senses that maybe these youths are being indoctrinated to fight government of Kenya? That Oscar Sudi has plan B. Can you check at the people who are supporting a certain agenda here? All of them either have a military background or were formerly soldiers, or they are involved in gun trotting, or they wanted to bring in fake arms. So the security agencies should be careful. The amount of energy and the amount of passion that these guys are speaking with points you to something that is agenda part 2 or plan B. They are also instigating hostage-taking politics, threatening the people in the Rift Valley. I want to stand with the MP of Nakuru West, Honorable, who spoke to the women and said as soon as today or tomorrow, Ngeno is given bail to leave, he should leave Nakuru expressly and go away. You see now, the tempers are high. The MP of Nakuru West, the language in that region has changed. Even Kimani, Kimani is going to change his language. So for those people who thought Matanga was wrong, I told you, you started too early. The way you are targeting these guys and warning them, you will never get a vote in Mount Kenya. No. Hiyo pesa unaharibu bure. Kula na watoto yako. Mimi nakwambia. My friend, I'm telling you, let me also use the language they use. My friend. Stupid taxi park language of matatu. Oh, Kondeli. You see, this is, when you see a man like Nani speaking, Sudi, oh my friend, you see he has copied. Lakini muwezi kupata kura pande hii. Itakuwa ngumu. Thank you very much.
All right, very well there. Hate speech and the drums of war. I think this is something that Kenyans must come out and speak up very clearly and say, we don't mind. You do your politics over there, disagree over there, but just don't bring us along with you to entertain this hate speech. And Kenyans should be loud enough and say no to some of these things that we see from either side of the divide. As Professor Onyari there likes to say here, I think he says it every day, we have a country to protect. So we do have a country to protect. And if you're not very careful, as Ina Hassan here is saying, it is time to stop pitting one region against the other or one ethnic group against the other. This may lead to the demise of Kenya. And that is very true. If you're not very careful, these drums of war might get us to a lot of trouble that you might not be able to come out of. And all right, and we go to the Standard newspaper, playing with fire. Shame of a nation, that is what the Standard newspaper says. Political temperatures rise as party leaders posture for national unity, while their sidekicks beat drums of war. KANU threatens to expel Emurua Dikir, MP Johanna Ngeno for insulting the president, and police put on alert to arrest hate mongers there. So even the Standard, the Standard newspaper and the Star, they share the same headline. They are quite similar, and they also call this the shame of a nation, even as some section of our leaders continue to beat the drums of war. Professor.
Muted, Professor.
All right, go ahead, Karen.
Yes, I agree with what's in the paper today. It's indeed shameful. It's shameful because it comes from people that we don't expect in the first place. You know, there are people who will do things or will say things and you wouldn't even remember because of, different reasons. But there are people you just don't expect. And what we're forgetting is that the world is watching. Everybody is watching. So it's indeed a shame. I agree totally. And we need to rewrite that history. We need to rewrite it and bring something new. And that takes us, it takes us back to what has happened and what can we do to correct it. So to prevent us from always being referred to as being a shameful country or people who have no shame, whatever it is we do, that we should just act right and know who we are. We are leaders, we should just act right. Yes, ma'am.
All right, very well. So I guess we should just, because there is just the story that we just looked at. I don't know if Professor is back there, but we see all those leaders and what they've been saying there on the front pages of the Standard newspaper. For right now, let's just turn our attention perhaps to our topic of the day there. And Dr. I shall start with you. Of course, we are looking at corruption and how to flatten the curve of corruption in Kenya by 2022. And there has been this very, I think, disturbing new form of corruption that we've been seeing. Any person who's being brought or being charged by, especially in the public, who have used public money or, has stolen public money, it's not just them. They're coming with their wives, they're coming with their children, as in the case also of Governor Muthomi, who spent another night in custody yesterday. Doctor, can we address this matter? We've made now corruption a family affair, and looking at all these, dynamics, are we able to flatten the curve of corruption by 2020? And should President Uhuru Kenyatta be able to win this war, what would that mean to his legacy?
First of all, Miriam, I don't know whether you are seeing me now properly.
It's fantastic.
Yes. I want to warn Citizen TV first. Victoria Rubidiri. What is her name? Rubidiri? I am very bad at names.
You really are bad. Rubadiri.
Rubadiri.
Yes.
She's running a series in order to win an international accord. She has done a video today which is against President Uhuru Kenyatta. We know your masters who voted you. But Madame Victoria Rubadiri have been waiting to finish this angle. So I'll release these files before you release the documents. So let me come back to this. Victoria Rubadiri, what is the name again?
You're right.
We know you want to make money because you are going to BBC. But we are aware of the agenda that you have. The show that you made is fake. The show that you have made, which you want to air tonight on Citizen, we have picked a clue. But we shall air one about you only. Only. So don't worry. You know, for me, I'll air and go away.
Mm-hmm. All right. We seem to be having.
I've been getting here.
Okay.
You know that I am using a different
Yes.
apparatus.
Yes.
So as soon as I talk, a phone comes in.
All right.
But Miriam, let's come to this question of a governor stealing together with his children. And it brings us to the corruption.
All right. Yes. I think, yeah.
We are going to talk about how I got a lot of interruption, but let me make my point. This person does not want to keep off. He's ringing on the same phone. So
Please, person, keep off. Go ahead, Doc.
the point is to be arrested and arraigned with the family, staff, and other people is a very sad thing for us. And I want to tell you frankly that I am very disappointed. I respected that gentleman so much. But now he's losing his job. He first of all had the talents. Anybody who goes to this man's office for instructions gets a very big problem. But it is okay. It is very sad, Miriam, very, very sad that a family steals. You also steal. The father steals. Another one steals. Then where of you look at yourself in prison? Why? let me be alone, bwana. Wacha nikufe. Professor, let me die with poverty. Let's eat the little we have. But Miriam comes to see me in prison from another ward cell, ward number 20, comes to see that in cell number 240. Yeah. No. Thank you very much, beautiful Miriam.
All right, very well. Professor, this trend, and I heard even yesterday the Chief Magistrate there, Douglas Ogoti, addressing this new trend that we're seeing right now in the country, where somebody decides, I'll not just steal by myself, but I'll make sure that this stealing becomes a family enterprise. And so you find the whole family has been dragged into these criminal activities. I mean, we used to train our young people to be leaders of tomorrow, but now it appears when we retire, we want our children to also take over these bad manners. I mean, this is just out of order.
Miriam, birds of the same feather flock together. And I've said that what we have just lost in this country is spirit. We have refused to be civil. When we were young, Miriam, I can remember one day one of my brothers brought a Ben to our home, which was not his. I can remember what my mom did with my brother. We have failed, and people want to get rich quickly in this country. People don't want to work. Miriam, I have said that we have got a country to protect, and we have got children to protect. Miriam, what do you tell your children in the house? What do you tell them? Do they even go to a kindergarten school? And what are they being taught even in kindergarten school? Miriam, when you go to school, there are four very best words a child is being taught. He is taught to say thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry. Those kind of words, and you speak the truth. And what the children are taught in school and in the family, children don't forget. So there's something to do with our education system and the family, how families are being brought up. It has made me to wonder now, Miriam, that you have to get your wife, your children, your cousin, your in-laws to steal. Miriam, this country has been cast, and we need to have more prayers so that we can be able to redeem it. That's why you can see when the magistrate is getting worried. It is an add-off. But Miriam, I have said here, and wherever I find young people, I say that crime does not pay. Crime will take even the little that you have, and your children will remain paupers. Will even be more disadvantaged. They will not get employed. You know, you are doing at your 50s or 60s. You are no longer going to work, but these children are going to work. And remember all the words, when we find that you took money, people should be able to learn from the Waruke case, That family is not going to have to be the same. The name is gone. You heard what Dr. Obado yesterday was saying? That here this. Not even one person can point at me. They are as dirty as me. He has already admitted that he's a dirty person. So let us deal with him. So I want Miriam, as we have said, the laws to do with the fighting corruption to be fast-tracked so that within 6 months we have started dealing with these people. Mm-hmm. Those who are listening, the adults, the parents who are listening to me, please, for heaven's sake, let us keep our children from the deals that we do, because these are the children we are going to hand over this country to. Then we have destroyed the society, we have destroyed the church, the schools, the country. We will die going, knowing that we have left our country in a crooked way. That's why you find these days young people being shot, walking with guns. Here the recent case that we had in Kirimani, Miriam, it is because they have copied from us that they want to have fast life. That's not the case. The adults of this country should spare the young generation, Miriam.
Mm. Right. Daniel, a very good morning. Is it? Good afternoon to you. It's just a few minutes past noon there, about 5 minutes. Good afternoon.
A very good afternoon, Miriam, Dr. Matsanga, Professor Jared Onyari, and Karen Joseph in Malindi.
All right, very well. So we're just looking at our topic of the day, how to flatten the curve of corruption in Kenya by 2022. And we've just been looking at this new, very worrying trend whereby a long time ago, you know, these parents could just engage in corruption and they'll just, keep off, their families from that. But now we see it has become a new worrying trend. And even yesterday, Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogoti there expressed his concern over what we are seeing right now. It's not just one person. We see they're coming in with their wives, with their children, with their nephews, with everybody. It's just a family enterprise. I mean, the family unit now is I don't know, it's just under threat on so many levels. But can we talk about this, even as we look at corruption?
Yes, Miriam, that points out a very quintessential shift in our family unit. It shows you that even parents right now no longer respect the family unit. You know, as a family, back in the day, even a father, if a father was involved or maybe a mother was involved in corruption, they wouldn't want to know that their kids know that they had been involved in a very unscrupulous ways of earning money, earning a living. They wouldn't want even their kids to know the dirty deeds that they are doing. But right now, it seems that we have suspended the family unit. We have ripped it off of its integrity and its meaning. And whatever is happening now is some vicious thievery of public coffers, where parents see no need of leaving their kids out of the loop, in that they welcome them on the gravy train. They can steal together and be able to enjoy the loot as a family, and which is quite unfortunate. But the good thing that is happening right now, the fight against corruption has been stepped out by President Uhuru Kenyatta, and it's our greatest hope that it doesn't matter what kind of family you come from, they are going to be brought before the tables of justice, and that they have stolen from the public be returned back. So that is the good thing. As much as people, the corrupt are going into the extreme ends, the president has also declared that he'll not spare anyone on the war against corruption. So let fire meet fire in this fight, and we expect that at the end of the day, the likes of Obado, the likes of Waititu, Sonko, the Muzomi Njuki, and all people who have been accused of stealing public coffers will be charged accordingly, and the money will be recovered regardless.
Karen, on the same.
Yeah, the fact that our leaders nowadays are taking part in corruption, they've taken it too far, to the extent of having their children as well involved, is sad, because like Professor just said, that we will hand over this country to the future, to these same children. But then what are we handing over? We've taught them to steal from a very early age. So the future of our country here is at stake, because we are fighting corruption. But there are people who are taking us back, because even in future, the ones who will take these leadership positions, they will take over, know how to steal. They knew how to steal from a long time ago. So we will not be fighting corruption. It will not come to an end, as much as we're trying to do so. So the fight against corruption is undermined here, because the kids are involved, and they're the ones who will take over from their fathers. So it actually undermines the fight against corruption. And also, you'd agree with me, Miriam, there's some families you'd tell to people that I'm getting married to a certain family, and they'd be like, that's a good family, they're brought up well, but the reputation, it's like the reputation of their families doesn't even matter here. Because if you're to refer to a certain family, they'll say no, those people are just not the right people to get married from. So the reputation of these families is at stake, as much as they don't even care, but they should know that it's at stake, and it's going to affect them in a very different way. So kids or children should not be involved when it comes to corruption, because it kills the future it kills the fight against corruption, and it's going to affect the country in the future.
Right. Doctor, what are just perhaps some of the ways, because we know President Uhuru Kenyatta has been very categorical on this war against corruption, and we saw, I think, when he announced after the BBI, and we know the handshake really rocked the Jubilee Party, but after also his announcement of his interest, if at all, public servants would go through a lifestyle audit, that really, started a storm there in Jubilee Party with some of his, party members there, really not being very comfortable with that, because President Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to be in the forefront when it comes to the fight against corruption there. So if we were to win this war, because we know it's part of President Uhuru Kenyatta's agenda by 2022 when he will be leaving office here, what are some of the tactics or some of the strategy or some of the things he could employ to ensure that even working together with other institutions that have been given this mandate, President Uhuru Kenyatta can leave a legacy of a successful fight against corruption? What can he do differently, or what can he strengthen? That is
first of all, President Kenyatta is fighting a war on corruption successfully. He has is trying to flatten the curve. But we have enemies within and without. Some of the enemies are like a Victoria Rubadiri of Citizen, because of her beauty. And because she's going to BBC, she thinks now she can unleash lies on Kenyans. So when you fight a war using lies, by telling Kenyans lies, when you tell lies like Harvey, now Harvey has been caught for the second time. I warned the Kenyans that Harvey is not a Kenyan, he's a Congolese. You people did not take me all right. You thought I was a madman. So you cannot fight a war with the type of people taking you to court. Rubadiri has now got scooped an award by BBC. Miriam, one of the problems we have is we Africans, when we become BBC, we become different people. You hear that? That when a Mzungu gives you an award, you turn on your own country and demolish it. Okay? And you are paid a few dollars, then you now damage Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. No, we shall not accept. We shall now go the way I told Mr. Harvey, I will get you. And I got him. When you see me flying to Mombasa, I don't fly for nothing. I fly to catch fish of that nature. I'm an operative. So Mr. Harvey, fight it now. So that you know, trying to demolish Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. You see, the concoction. They have concocted a stories. Let's come back to the truth. And I want Miriam, you're a very good English reader. The Chronicles of Kemusa. Just let Stephen print it for you, because I can't print here where I am.
I have it here.
I believe all of you have read the Chronicles of Kemusa.
Stephen anticipated, so he printed it earlier on in the morning. I think it's Sam who printed it, but
thank you. Yes. Can you read the Chronicles? Let's start the story. We are writing a chapter on Kemusa.
This is part
on Kemusa haste. I tell you, Professor Karen, I don't know whether Wesonga is there. I can't see him.
Around that.
You are not available on my screen. I don't know why. But
you can just flip.
No, I've done it, but you are not seen.
I'm on the last page.
You are number 5 there. The Chronicles of Kemsa started the story. Miriam, read the story for the viewers.
All right. So Chronicles Part 1. This was Doctor's.
Yes.
I have it 5 a.m.?
2. In fact, let me, before you read, I have 14 parts.
That's a lot of parts.
14 is a book. Miriam is a book.
It's a mini-series.
I write the books. I have written 14 parts, 14 chapters, Chronicles of Kamsa. Wow, wake up. And I want you at the end of the journey, Professor Karen Wesonga. I know Wesonga has determined the answer already. And yourself, find who this is. Puzzle. I am now going to preach like a Paul in Judea, with the parable like a Jesus. Yeah, I will not name the names. I leave Kenyans to make their conclusion. So my kid.
All right. So do I go straight to, okay, fine. Help to flatten
Yes.
the corruption curve. And Doctor, you said, let Kenyans expand their knowledge. And my feelings this morning are very clear why this noise, but I will leave.
No, you start from the beginning, Miriam.
From the beginning.
You started them with the story. The story, who owns the land where Kemsa warehouse is established. And the apple, aterere.
All right, Chronicles Part 1 states, and then Kemsa, corruption, and more facts. And Doctor said, as a person who prays the real God, I woke up with some form of sense of anger, but in form of a vision at around 3 a.m. that has helped me to unravel the corruption saga at Kemsa. Questions: did Kenyans know why this noise is all about? There is something this noise is hiding. Did you know that it is like the noise Mulcomen and Oscar Sudi made when President Uhuru Kenyatta declared lifestyle audit? And then you continue, do Kenyans remember the first people who rejected the life audit on Citizen TV? So behind the Mulcomen and Oscar Sudi noise, there is a huge smoke. I hope the investigating agencies will unravel this. And then another subtopic there, help to flatten the corruption curve, let Kenyans expand their knowledge. And my feelings this morning are very clear why this noise, but I will leave a puzzle here. Before the investigators finish their work in 21 days, let them find out who owns Kemsa and land and warehouse, because the owner might be the origin of all the troubles Kenya has today. Puzzle 1, who owns Kemsa warehouse on LR? Doctor, you even have the number here. Number
Yes!
9042 176 worth.
There you are. If
Worth
the
10 billion.
owner of land title can come out and tell Kenyans, Karen, you will give me another gold medal.
So which house is the
Karen,
same?
Professor, another degree.
Yes.
Yes, another degree there for me, Prof. Land title number what? Who owns Kemsa warehouse?
All right, and then puzzle 2, who is this Indian man and Indian company that was given the same piece of land or leased through a close friend of a friend at the center of all the troubles of Kemsa? Puzzle 3, who are these mafia groups that have molested all Kenyans on corruption cases in this country and especially Nairobi? Puzzle 4, who heads this caliphate that wants to destroy the legacy of President Kenyatta? I defend the legacy, that is why I'm writing these chronicles. And then you finish by saying, let the agencies go deeper. From today, I will bring dose by dose of the chronicles of corruption in Kenya in order to flatten the corruption curve. My business will not be to name people. Investigators will name the people, not me. I will leave it to Kenyans to think deeply about this mafia group and let them answer the puzzles. And above all this, those investigating the Kemsa saga might get some clues from here. So this, Doctor, you wrote it at what, 5 a.m., your 5 a.m. thought? So
Yes, thank you very much, Miriam.
Chronicles Part 1. So tomorrow
Yes, part 1.
come back with
Tomorrow.
part 2.
And I want to tell you, Professor, with due respect, that I will be punishing this person dose by dose. day by day, drop with facts, every tooth, one by one, until he kills me. Because I'm aware he wants to kill me.
So you're flirting with death? Is that what you're doing?
I've been threatened, yes.
Okay.
You know? So I'll bring dose by dose. Cut the dose. And I've given a copy to somebody very high so that I even have the land title number. Don't you think that is good investigative journalism?
I think DCI should
Haven't I done my job?
should follow that clue and get to the bottom of that, even as they investigate that scandal there at
Yes.
Kemsa.
The trouble now, Miriam, now let me summarize for you. The trouble of Kemsa started with that man, with the owner of the warehouse. Professor, I hope you are listening. This is very serious and interesting to your ears. I know you like this. You like this music. And the Songa. Now,
Yes.
who owns, if you discover who owns the warehouse in industrial area where Kemsa stands, then you know all the trouble. Who wanted to steal the medicine even at night? The landlord. Omuizi, omubi. So these are the things Lubadini who should have gone for, not to go to accuse President Uhuru Kenyatta. The thief, the real thief, is the owner of the warehouse. Do you know that the owner of the land is paid 3 billion shillings as rent?
3 billion as rent for the warehouse of Kemsa.
Yes.
But Kemsa should be having its own warehouse by now. It's a very important institution. Why is it renting? Why?
This is medium. Enjoy
Why?
it. This is chronicle.
Professor,
Part
why
one.
is Kemsa renting?
Now you can understand why. Who is this? Who owns that warehouse? Who are the Indians who deal with this person? Now begin from there. Well, you know our role is to help the police and the investigative agencies, isn't it? I am a journalist, not only Kenyan journalist, a Commonwealth, not only Commonwealth, International Journalist Association. I belong there. I have all the cards. Miriam, I can show them here. All of them. You can tell me to leave your country, I will go. But when I'm there, I'm dead. So it's better to be here. Now, when I look for you, I get you. The trouble, Kumbe, these guys wanted even to dig a hole, like a scab of that guy of Mexico. Miriam is very serious, and the story is very interesting. When you read my book, the 14 Chronicles, chapter 14 will conclude by you telling me who the fifth was. But for tonight, I leave you to guess today as my battery signals and disappears because I'm in a very far area. It is still darker here where I am. You can see it is at night. I'm not in Nairobi. Therefore, I want to leave you. I don't know whether, Professor, you have seen what I'm talking about, but it makes your mouth even louder on this one. Mm-hmm. They were going to dig a hole to. In fact, it is good that this scandal came because the owner of the plot was even thinking of digging the hole to take away the hole. In the morning, you could have found a volcano. Something has erupted in that area. Africa. So I went to the books in land office. I found the owner of that land. And my heart is very sad. So I leave it. Start with Songa to break this news. And the Songa don't quote me. I am not quotable. But stand by me. Professor, it is very interesting. Kumbe watu wa hizi namna hivi. I swear, where did this 50 come from? Eh? It's good my father told me. Do you know what my father told me? Before he died, before he was killed unceremoniously. You know there is ceremonious killing and unceremonious killing. He said 2 things you never do, David. Don't steal. And another one, don't sleep in a woman's house, however good it is. I will explain that. I know Miriam will start laughing. Don't ever go to a woman. You know, Wesonga, we better tell you.
Yes.
Especially you, because I'm more worried about you. Never should a girl call you that I have my own house, I have my own keys, I run my own car, come and spend a weekend at my house. My son,
yes.
There is the owner. There is the owner. Please, however bad your mattress is, however much you have bed bugs in your bed, if there are cockroaches in your house, eat those cockroaches, but never sleep at a woman's house. Please. You are dead. You are dead. You don't wear Songa, please, especially you, whom I'm nurturing. And there's someone there in the production listening to me. My small man in the production, a younger man. If I find that you are sleeping somewhere there, you are dead with me. Sleep in your house however much you have bed bugs, but never sleep in a wife's house, a home of a woman. However much he has a Range Rover or 2, 5, 6 lined up, there is the owner. And when the owner finds you inside, you are the weakest link, even if you have 200 guns.
You enter under the bed.
Yes. You either enter the bed or jump through the window. And I have a friend in this country who jumped through the window. I swear, I went and I removed him from somewhere. He was naked. So I am telling you, don't try it, Miriam. Tell these people. I'm sorry. Theft is very bad. My father told me, don't steal. Wesonga, I just ask, if you don't have the money to run petrol with your BMW, ask Daddy, I am here.
Yeah, sure.
I will give you 10,000 or fill it for a whole month. I'd rather sleep hungry than you stealing.
Yeah, true.
Please, don't ever try to steal. Don't. Look at this man. He gets 3 billion shillings from the land. Then he wants to dig a hole to take the drugs at night. Why? So I leave it to you, Miriam. I brought in some sense of humor. And sense of humor is part of a new generation of journalism. That's why the British have there is this British man who is very comical, Mr. Bean. Otherwise, Bean would not be there. Why would Bean come on TV? My teaching and my culture and the community is to flatten the curve. Flatten the curve of corruption. These instances, I'm bringing them so that people can see how bad corruption is. You rent a warehouse, then you want to still influence the owners to give you medicine for free and dig a hole. Like that man from Mexico. Azcapo, is it Azcapo?
El Chapo.
El Chapo.
El Chapo Guzman. What did you call him?
So that's why you see, they turned up, they came out, the money has been stolen. No, it is these guys. These guys are very dangerous. So keep my writing. I wrote it at 5. I slept very badly. In fact, the headache came when I read this vision arrived on the window. And they told me, look, David, connect these dots. You know, God does not give you a full vision, because if he gives you, then you're a prophet. You're a prophet. Isn't it, Chaplain? He gives you half to put for you to finish. So he told me, look, here is the owner of the warehouse land who influenced all this to the friends. So you check the owner, don't check me. Thank you very much.
All right, Professor.
Can I eat my bread now as I listen?
All right, enjoy your bread there, Doctor. Thank you so much, Professor.
Yes, it is getting in the morning here, very early in the morning. So wherever I am, thank you very much. Don't worry about me.
Yes.
The man is looking for me, so I am ready.
All right, Professor, you've been given some homework there. Get us the owner of that warehouse. I don't know, maybe the DCI can help us. But even as we look at, flattening the curve of corruption in Kenya, whether in 2022 or in the near future or in the far future, corruption needs to be attacked by both the citizens and also the government, because it is something that requires both our concerted efforts if you were to defeat this very bad habit that we have now that is threatening our own livelihood in this country, because everything else that we're supposed to be getting, especially for those who rely on public service, corruption takes that from us. So when you go to the hospitals, you find that KEMSA deliver the drugs are not there, because the doctors or somebody has taken it and sold it, or, things like that. So they affect our day-to-day lives. And Professor, when you look at it from that perspective, perhaps Kenyans haven't understood very well the impact that corruption has in their own lives and how it even impacts the kind of food they will have at the end of the day, or the kind of money they will earn, or, everything else that comes around that. So is it because Kenyans think when they hear corruption, well, that is so they stole, and that is just public money was stolen, but they don't know that when such monies are stolen, that trickles down to how their lives are affected, and service delivery when they go to public places, when they visit public offices, when they go to public healthcare system, or just anything. So it is a concerted effort for us to win the war against corruption. So in one part, what are responsibilities as individuals in this country, how can we come in then and realize our place in the fight against corruption?
Thank you, Miriam, for that question. And I have said this story before, and I want to say it. It is a myth from the Bukusu people about the hyena and the stone. The hyena went to the stone, and it made the noise, yelled. And then he told the stone, I know you don't hear, but I've told you. Miriam, from where we are, we have told Kenyans, and we will continue telling them the dangers and the evils of corruption. Miriam, corruption is worse than cancer. Corruption is more than COVID we are talking about, and which kills. It's worse than a pandemic. And it will take, Miriam, wherever I woke up, like this morning, I was engaging young people. And Miriam, if we don't address corruption, we lose this country. Take it from me. If we don't handle corruption, they keep on seeing us discussing corruption every other day, and they think it's just, let them just talk about it. Because corruption means that we cannot get services. You go to hospitals, you cannot. Miriam, do you know when you read that more than billions and billions of things have been taken, and Kenyans in the name of COVID, and Kenyans don't even have a mask? Miriam, do you know that when where corruption is involved, our roads cannot be made? Someone takes pocket the money. We cannot have water, we cannot have electricity. Even the young people were telling me this morning, these cash transfers, which the president said, they cannot see another person who has been given, and they are vulnerable. And they keep on, and I was trying to tell them how, because I'm good at advocacy, I want to know where the problem is. The chiefs on the Nubakum, they write their people whom they know, and they end up getting this money. So the young people and the people of this country are disillusioned. They are almost giving up for this beautiful country. And how do we lose it, Miriam? When there is political corruption, when it comes us electing leaders, who bribes us? They go to make deals. These committees you see in Parliament, in the Senate. When you see them inviting governors or inviting ministers or the CEOs, they are taking the price. So what do I want? Why am I saying that, Miriam? That corruption will destroy a country. And the corruption, we want to demystify this myth that there are some people elsewhere who will fight corruption. Wabukara and the EAC and others, they will not. Miriam, you and I must fight corruption. We must hate corruption. We must take these people head on. And when we, Dr. Masanga, I like the way he brings stories. And it makes us, and you think that there are stories, but they make a lot of sense. Yeah, so you don't go to a woman's house. If you are caught, you are vulnerable and you are weak. Even these people who do corruption deals, Miriam, the moment we grab them, they are very weak. They don't even know where to hide. So Miriam, Kenyans must start. And I'm looking forward to the day we will have another NAC revolution of 2003. I was some of the people who were arresting the police. I was walking to an office and give my government office and I'm served. I'm told you come tomorrow, and when you go tomorrow, you get what you wanted to do. So Miriam, here the work Masanga has told us. You take more than 3 billions from a government in terms of rent, and then you go and you want to excavate and dig a hole to steal the drugs. Miriam, we have lost it. So what I'm trying to say as we are discussing this, Kenyan must be annoyed, must become annoyed and start taking action. Time for talking now is over. Because in terms, Miriam, when we recover from this pandemic, you will never realize how much money has been looted in this country, not even through COVID. Other government institutions now, you see now everybody's fearful. You don't know what's going on. So from where I stand, Miriam, Kenyans are the people to blame. We elect leaders who make a replica of us. The young people want to be rich like our parents. I always tell young people in terms of corruption, yes, do it progressively. Don't kill yourself at the age of 30 or 28, as you have seen some die. Why do you want to do things so for a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old person? It is because they have learned these bad manners. Horror is not lost. We are discussing this, and Miriam, we must go forward to redeem our country. We must give information to the government agencies charged in fighting corruption. We must be whistleblowers. Laws must be changed to protect us once you give this kind of information. You know, sometimes, Miriam, what discourages people here is you walk to a government institution, you go to the police, you make a report, and what do you get next? The person whom you have reported is the one who is warning you. You think, what were you saying about me? Hakuna mahali utanipeleka. The moment, Miriam, and this is the kind of education that we are giving Kenyans, we will never get services. Countries like Botswana, countries like Rwanda, they woke up one morning and they say, we don't want corruption. We want to take the countries forward. Everyone admires Rwanda, everyone admires Botswana. Let me just submit up to that point.
And Mauritius, I think, is the leading country in the continent. And even Ghana is doing pretty well in terms of the fight against corruption there. Karen, what is the part that we have to play as individuals or as responsible, good citizens in the country to contribute to the fight against corruption? We know a lot of these corruptions are mega. We might not even be able to do anything about it, but in our own small ways. Go ahead.
We have to be whistleblowers, just the way Professor just said. The issue we had some time back, and we had these, let me call them fake emails, for the sake of what I'm trying to explain. So if we have such an issue, received messages or emails, and you feel like they're not working for the interest of your job, you should report that, if at all it's related to corruption. So I agree totally with Professor. One of the roles you can play as individuals is by reporting when issues of if we sense or we feel like there are corruption cases going around, or people who are trying to misuse the funds. So number one, we can even report. And the other thing we can do is also educate our fellow citizens on the impacts of corruption, because at least they will know how to handle these things. And you are very correct, Miriam, you said people don't know how corruption affects them. So apart from reporting, we need to tell them, we need to speak to them about it, and at least they will know how to handle it. Because if we are to let it go the way it's going, as much as we are trying to fight it, but if we just sit down and let things flow the way they are flowing, then we are depriving ourselves of so many things. Because nobody there'll be no investor out there who will be ready to invest in our country or do anything meaningful here. Why? Because he'll feel like in this country people do this and that. So we are not going to develop any time soon if we are to continue having corruption cases going just the way they are going. So it's important for people to have information on corruption and to know whom to go after in case of such an issue, for us to prevent such issues like the way people not invest in our country and so on and so forth. And something else is them knowing that by them not reporting, they're also depriving themselves of services. Imagine of a person who is given public funds to maybe construct a school, and this person doesn't do that, and people still study under trees. In some places people do that. Why? Because the right person did not stand on his ground. And so the effects of corruption are so wide and are so many that if you don't take charge right now, it's going to even affect us in the future. Mm-hmm. So as an individual report, when you suspect an issue of corruption, it's sort of the ways to cope up with this whole thing and also educate the rest about it.
Mm-hmm. Very well. And Daniel, there's this U.S. congressman, I think he died a couple of months ago, John Lewis. I'm sure you know him. He's famous for using certain terms when they were agitating for change and to be recognized and all that, and during the struggle of human rights there for black people to be treated equally. Remember in the 50s and 40s and 60s there, and John Lewis was very famous of saying a line he loved using: "It is important for people to cause some necessary trouble." Is important for people to make some necessary noise. Yes, you might upset the system, you might upset a few individuals, but this trouble is necessary. Should we see a just society? Should we see a society that is, free of corruption? So in our own small ways, as much as we cannot, we don't have any powers when it comes to especially this mega corruption that involves very high, powerful individuals up there in the society. But still, Kenyans do have a place, I believe, where they can continue causing these necessary troubles, or even making this necessary noise, if you were to actually see a country free of corruption, perhaps in the near future.
Yes, Miriam, absolutely. And that is what exactly President Uhuru Kenyatta was talking about during his onset declaration to fight against corruption. He said he was ready to cause trouble. He was ready to lose friends, to lose family, to disrupt the social bonds of his own personal life, where he was able to take on his own allies. And that is what he's doing. He's disrupting, and you see Deputy President's allies were the people who were strongly behind President Uhuru Kenyatta. But the moment he started going the corrupt individuals and really having a very, very robust crushing on them, they started coming out accusing President Uhuru Kenyatta of all unimaginable things. And that is why right now we do have that troublesome scenarios where Oscar Sudi, Kipchumba Murkomen are all throwing very unprintable slurs at the president and his family. And this is because President Uhuru Kenyatta has refused to play to their tune of allowing the country to sink into the trench of impunity and rampant corruption. So I think that is the scenario as it is. And it goes hand in hand with the quote that you said there of the congressman in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And also one essential point that we sometimes negate when we talk about corruption, and which is very important, is the intelligence systems. In most developed democracies and economies in the world, they have a very, very robust intelligence system in that corruption can be detected even before it happens. But for most countries in the third world, we only go after corruption once it has been brought into the public limelight through audits and maybe whistleblowers. I think whatever work Dr. Matsanga is doing as an investigative journalist is what every nation needs to do. And of course, the essence of investigation is to bring lining to a particular story and remove doubts, so that the intelligence systems now and the investigative agencies can take it from there and be able to bring some truth and be able to bring the whole to unravel the whole iceberg. So he has already given them the points. Now it's upon the investigative agencies to do their homework and be able to unravel everything. And every Kenyan also, we do take part as Karen and Professor Jared Onyari have said, we have a responsibility as a people to also wage in the war against corruption. And I think as a progressive country, that is what we should be doing, rather than just throwing necessary words through within the horizons of ignorance.
All right, and part of the BBI, because fighting corruption is also part of that BBI draft. We're still waiting for the second one, so I don't know when it will be presented. But the first one that was presented last year, I think was it on 9th of November to President Uhuru Kenyatta, And Raila Odinga, part of it also included the fight against corruption. They identified it could be a core of what really ails us as a society. But also on that, this the BBI seeks to work to encourage Kenyans to work towards developing a national ethos, which means defining our Kenyan identity and values together, and also our common aspirations. The BBI suggests should include first and foremost no longer tolerating corruption. Now, just let's go back to the national ethos and defining who we are as Kenyans and our values together. And you see the turn in which corruption has taken, and we talked about it earlier there on the show. It is no longer just one person engaging in corruption. I'll bring my wife, I'll bring my child, I'll bring my mother-in-law, I'll bring whoever I can get, so that we are able to ride on this corruption train together. So now when they're caught, you see a whole family be presented in the court, as in the case of Governor Obado, the case of Waititu, the former governor for Kiambu, and other examples. And now, right now, as we speak, that governor from Mudhomi, that is in court, also fighting the same. It's quite a shame when you look at it. Of course, they've not been found guilty, except for Waititu, but these cases are there, and of course the investigative bodies have done their job. That's why these cases are in court there, because there is some proof of something that requires the court to look at. And tying this to our national ethos and who we've become as a people, is this how we want to be known, Professor? Can we change this at all as our Kenyan identity?
Miriam, thank you for that question. And I want to have this to say, that our 2010 Constitution, in fact, is one of the most progressive constitution in the world as we speak today. So what we need to do, Miriam, when it comes for us moving forward, the new constitution talks about national values. I remember when the governor for Machakos was the government spokesman, there was something he came up of saying that inachifunia kuwa Mkenya. Although Kenyans made fun of it, that wameanza, they started saying wanafumilia kuwa wa Kenya.
Well, they make
but the
fun
concept
of
there is
yes,
we should be proud of who we are
as a people.
We must be able to define who we are. We must be very patriotic. We must be nationalistic. We must love our country. We must be able to define who we are. This is how we do our things. Miriam, let me tell you how Kenyans behave in two incidents. For one, we have anger and we are correcting funds, Kenyans for Kenyans. Do you see how Kenyans give? They give until we overpass the target. That's one of the things we divides with our Kenyans. We stand with our Kenyans because we don't want them to die of anger. Miriam, have you seen Kenyans when we are having our athletes outside there, landing, and you are seeing them carrying the flag? Do you see yourself in your house with song and Karen and everybody? And that's how Kenyans behave, Miriam. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about, national ethos. That's what it defines. If you happen to go outside this country, someone will want to come and tell you whether you are a Kosgei, whether you are a Conchera. Miriam, what I want to say that this is the kind of things we want to do to define who we are. We must be the people who want to take our country forward. We must be people who hate corruption. We must be able to defend our country. Remember, Miriam, when I was growing up in school, I remember we were singing the Nyayo philosophy. Mm-hmm. That was defining us. Watoto wa Nyayo na masiwa ya Nyayo. You missed that one, Karen. It was great. We enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. Professor, we're not
too much. Wonderful, Miriam. You can see how you were looking forward for that break to be there, to be given your packet.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, yes.
So what do I want to say? This is one way. That's why, Miriam, God speaks to readers. And I have no doubt that God spoke to the Prime Minister and God spoke to our President. They say that if we need to take this country, Miriam, you can see the kind of how angry and how bitter he is. Look at Sudi. Look at Ngeno. What is this which has been done to them? And as a peace person, Miriam, instead of now condemning now, I need to understand so that we can tell them this one can be done, this one cannot be done. Yes, you have a genuine point. This is how you do it. So unless we have got national ethos as a people, as a country, we have got national values, we may not learn on how to deal with each other. And that's why I recommend that we need to be civil with each other. We have to practice civility. We have to practice golden rule. We have no another country, Miriam. I'm telling you, if we destroy this country, we have these drums of war. If we continue, you know, Miriam, let me tell you for one, if people have never known, the rich people never suffer. The well-to-do people never suffer because they can afford, even if life becomes so difficult, they can afford to go to hospital and pay for their drugs and for their doctors. They can be able to take their children to school.
Even outside the country.
They can afford food. But there's this poor lady, this poor old woman in the rural area. He goes to a dispensary, he finds there is no drugs. Even where the doctor is going to prescribe, Miriam, he tells you go to a kiosk, you buy a book, buy an exercise for me to come and prescribe. This is what corruption can do. And if we love our country and we see corruption is there, we will report. We will be able to tell these people who are calling money, how comes Mungu as prestigious some people and others not? You must be very kind. So Miriam, when it comes to national ethos and national values, will help us fight corruption. So as the new constitution came in and where we have lost it all, Miriam, we have not taken time to give civic education to educate Kenyans. You cannot have a beautiful document unless we domesticate it and take it to the people. And that's what Bunchland Africa TV is doing. We are educating the people. We are trying to say, oh, these things are there. Miriam, look at chapter 6 of the Kenyan Constitution on leadership and integrity.
The most abused.
Chapter.
The most abused, I believe.
It is now you see, like now, a member of parliament makes that request and he says that he wants to be a leader. That chapter demands that you vacate office because now you are not going to unite the people of country. So if we go back and look at the national ethos, where have we gone wrong? Where have we gone wrong? What do we need to do? Miriam, we can be able to take this country forward. And as I've said now, Miriam, time for keeping on talking, having a discussion should be over, and we should now start to take action. Time for us to organize ourselves that our money is being stolen, our money is being done. No, time has come for us to start organizing ourselves in smaller groups, the young people. How do we empower them? Because Miriam, let me tell you, yesterday night I was listening to interview of Tuchu, and it was being asked by Mahura that people have lost jobs, and it was admitting that even him, he has raised more than 40 employees. Where are these people want to go? So Miriam, let us fight corruption. Let us engage each other with each other. Let us have an engagement. Let us have a conversation. Let us be civil to each other. And Miriam, we will take our country forward. We will fight corruption. Let people detest and hate corruption.
Very well. Ina Hassan, thank you so much. You're saying however much we have those beautiful statements in the BBI document, those flamboyant statements will remain. So commitment and goodwill is what is lacking. Daniel, what perhaps is the government's responsibility towards us? Because, we know President Uhuru Kenyatta has been very particular when it comes to the war against corruption. But also we see, some people that work in his government and ministries have been found to be engaging in corruption, and all these things have been happening in both sides of the divide, not just, President Uhuru Kenyatta's allies or things like that. But, it has to start from the head. So it's a good thing he has said, he has declared the war against corruption. But what else can government do as a responsibility towards us, even as it leads us, forward in the war against corruption? What else?
Yes, Miriam, I've been listening to Professor Jared Onyari's submission, and I think that is the reality under the prevailing conditions that are here in the country. And for one thing, we have to make it clear that the government has really done its bit when it comes to the war against corruption by targeting the top leadership in the country. We have seen some cabinet secretary who have been sent out of the cabinet. We've seen senior civil servants being arraigned in courts, and that is quite commendable for the government. But however, we should also note as a people that the government does not work as a single unit. The government works with the support and the goodwill of the people. So therefore, as a people, we also have a responsibility of standing by our government, supporting its agenda, and being there to even push some of these agenda. If you go to a certain government office and they refuse to accord you the constitutionally awarded services, without asking a fee before you are assisted, as a citizen, as a responsible citizen, you have to take up the matter to the relevant authorities, and the matter to be pursued rather than succumbing to the pressure of corruption and anarchy. So I think as a citizen, we have a very, very big major role to play, as much as the government is also doing its bit. And actually, it's quite commendable, because if you want to tackle corruption in any particular government, then you have to start from the head, the top leadership of that government. And that is what President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing. Now it comes, the back now heads the people. We have to change our ethics. We have to change the way our behavior. We have to change the way we perceive leadership. We have to elect people who are also not corrupt, or maybe with the intention of going to loot our public coffers, so that whenever now the government is able to clean the executive and other arms of government, we also as a people will have leaders, elected leaders at our county levels who are not corruptible. So that is the much I can say about that, Miriam. I think as much as we talk about corruption, the government has done its bit, and the buck now stops with the citizenry to come in and be able to play our part also as a.
Right, very well. Karen, have we lost our soul? As a country, of course, you'll hear it's not fair, because a lot of these people who are mentioned, governors, top officials, and things like that, and condemning Kenyans as a whole, Kenyans might feel it's not very fair. But the same Kenyans or another Kenyan will tell you, you're just talking because you've not found an opportunity. If you are in that position as well, you'll also steal. So have we lost ourselves, our soul as a people or as a country? And how could you go back there and to be patriotic enough and say no, perhaps, to some of these things that threaten to tear us down as a country?
Yes, part of the country, yes, and part of the country is doing well. So we are, at the middle. And what we can do to correct that, I feel like most of us Kenyans need to prioritize service delivery. The reason as to why we have these cases, because they put personal interest before the work. The reason is to offer, the reason why we are there is to offer services, to deliver services to the people of Kenya. But once you put your own interest first, then you're meant to feel like every other person put in that position will do the same. And that is not true. What they're doing is thinking of, how do I develop myself as a person, forgetting that you're dealing with so many Kenyans out there. So they should learn to know what to do first. They should learn to know what to put in their priority list. Some of them have failed when it comes to doing that. And that's why we have issues of corruption. However, we can move out of this whole place that we're in right now, currently as a nation, if we work together and fight corruption. Not an issue of some of us are fighting corruption, but some are doing the opposite. Because if we are moving together, Miriam, and it gets to a point, I feel like I'm walking alone. Where are we even that to walk together if I'm moving alone and you at the back? So people need to know that we cannot let the government fight corruption on its own. Mm-hmm. We have the responsibility of doing that. And as citizens of Kenya, we have a responsibility also of choosing leaders who have integrity. Mm-hmm. Because we fail. We know people we've had issues with them before when it comes to corruption, but then we still allow them back. So we have a role to select leaders who have a record of integrity. That is also another way of helping us fight corruption, because we're not letting the same thing repeat itself. And talking of the chapter on leadership and integrity, I think, okay, the government has done a lot when it comes to fighting, but if we can have the consequences of these people who are found guilty of committing corruption becoming much heavier, than the way they are right now. We do not want them jailed because we want to recover what they took from us. But let the consequences be too heavy. In some countries, you can't just take the public funds and misuse them. They are taken so seriously. The consequences are heavy. So if we can have the same thing here, then we'll be implementing that chapter of integrity and leadership. Otherwise, people keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Going back to what you asked me, yes, part of us have lost it and part of us are fighting against it.
All right, very well. So we need more punitive measures and laws that when it comes to economic crimes in this country. So as we conclude, I just have one more question, and all of us will take it. And so, of course, we know the first step of solving a problem is acknowledging we have a problem, and we have acknowledged we have a problem. Even President Uhuru Kenyatta himself has acknowledged we have a problem when it comes to fight to corruption. And the second part perhaps is coming up with a solution. And we've been, all this conversation we've been having here, we've been trying to find ways and solutions as to how to address this problem after acknowledging we have a problem. Now, the third part is implementation, and that is where we seem to be having a problem. We have Chapter 6 of the Kenyan Constitution. We also have in our Constitution that says that civil servants are not supposed to be engaging in any form of business with the government. But you've seen all these tenders, all this corruption in the counties, all this. Like, we already have that in our law. Why do we still act with impunity? Why do we disregard already the laid down procedures according to our Constitution? The third part, Professor, I would believe is quite important if we were to totally win the war against corruption, the implementation part of even some of these laws that are existing right now.
Miriam, that question is really very, very, very important, and we need to look at it. I have said that time for talking, yes, we can talk, there's corruption, we can acknowledge so. And that's why sometimes I had one of our viewers is commenting. To criticize Miriam is very easy. Anybody, there's nobody who cannot criticize. But I want to tell Kenyans, if you have got a better idea, which can take Kenyan forward, bring it on the table. Miriam, you have once said that if we have to win the war against corruption, let us not leave anyone behind. Every voice matters. We are 47 million Kenyans. Miriam, 47 Kenyans have got a solution. If 47 million Kenyans don't have a solution for this country, then there is this high time that God wipes this nation. Every voice matters. We can come together and we can deal with corruption. Miriam, we are almost there. I'm telling you, we are almost there. Let our judiciary, the small ones we have gotten, like the Warukes, put them, three of them, 4 of them. And in fact, let me tell you, Miriam, some of even the 3 governors, don't even go for 47 of them. Just pick 3, send them. Miriam, nobody will touch public money. So we need a vibrant and a working judiciary. They must help us this. Miriam, we have got political will. To have the leader for the opposition, people don't, when we say these things, people think that we are just talking for the sake of talking. When you can have the leader for the opposition and the head of state and the government speaking in one voice, how can this corruption defeat us? We must join hands. Miriam, what I wanted to say is that for us to implement, there's political will. Let us support the handshake. Let us support the president. We are the people to tell the president some of your ministers are not working. How will the minister, how will the president know? We are the one to wish forward. Miriam, we are the people to write to the president and say that this minister, this principal secretary, this principal accounting officer is not working and is embezzling. He is involving himself in businesses. We are the one to report. And Miriam, we must have a system whereby the Kenyans will report anonymous and nobody will be able to follow them. We must have them those. And remember, Miriam, anti-corruption is being headed by Bishop Wabukara. He's a man of God and he has done a good work. Why don't Kenyans, if you don't trust any person, why don't you work with that man of God and give him the information? And your information will be processed. Miriam, we have to create a sense of corruption spirit in the public service. We must have that sense of corruption. We must wake up one morning, detest corruption. Miriam and Daniel and Karen, I want to confess before you that I hate corruption. When I read and see people stealing money, which is meant for the people of Kenya, Miriam, it annoys me. So can Kenyans also, as we implement this, be annoyed, detest, and hate corruption? Miriam, we need to see high-level cases being fast-tracked in court. We don't need to arrest people. The director for criminal prosecution and corruption, the director for public prosecution, we don't take people to court and then the case takes 7 to 8 years. There's something wrong then in this country. Even the one with Waruka, Miriam, you can see how many years it has taken. So you can see the recommendation I'm giving. And I was very happy which case was it for when they say that when this is going to start, they are going to hear it concurrently for 1 week. No adjournment. Miriam, if we go that way, we will be able to implement the idea that we have acknowledged that we have corruption in this country. All of us can fight corruption. And it must concern all of us. Don't look at President Uhuru Kenyatta. He has given the political will. Miriam, it has never happened in the history of this country that you are Minister for Finance and the Principal Secretary can go home. That is a clear statement. That's a clear statement that anybody can carry the cross. The president has given assurance that even if you are his brother, and if you have got evidence his brother has stolen or anybody else, report. So on this, there's a high commitment. Let us join hands. And Rome was not built in a day. It was built in days. The beauty of it is that we have started fighting corruption. The stone has started roaring and it will continue gathering momentum. At the end of the day, Miriam will make it.
All right, very well. Yeah, so we are still hopeful there. So Daniel, all right, in all this, acknowledging we have a problem and trying to coming up with the solutions, but when it comes to implementation, we have been very hesitant in the manner in which even our justice system has been handling these cases. And our justice system involves the judiciary, the investigative body, the police, all of that. They need to all work together so that the wheels of justice can move properly, so that some of these things can be implemented. At the end of the day, these solutions and these punitive measures needs to be, the justice system is supposed to be handling that. And of course, political goodwill is also very important in this. So in our implementation part here, it's quite important if you were to win, totally the war against corruption. How can we make it better?
Yes, Miriam, first of all, we have to understand that corruption has been a very, very deep-rooted malaise in our system, and that has been there since independence. And in 2010, when we promulgated the new constitution, we set a very new path for us to be able to achieve a corruption-free society, to be able to achieve optimality when it comes to economic enrichment and all that. And of course, as something that has been really been entrenched in our system for quite some time, we started cleaning the system slowly by slowly. You saw the Justice Ringera's commission cleaning up the judiciary, getting off the corrupt judges. from the system. And we have been doing this progressively. And President Mikey Baki also on his own level tried to fight corruption. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has come up to take over from where Kibaki left. And you see, these has to be done gradually. And that is what the president is doing. First of all, cleaning his cabinet, going after top government officials who have been implicated in corruption. And I believe that ripple effect has to trickle all down to all the other government departments. And we have to give also ourselves some timeline, let's say like a period of 20 years. You know, corruption is something that you cannot just fight and finish with a quick fire, maybe over 2 years or maybe 10-year presidential term. It has to take us some time. And we have to have a very clear roadmap in implementing that. So from my perspective, I think we have to give credit where it is due. President Uhuru Kenyatta has already set the platform. Now it's upon whoever will take the mantle of presidency from him to be able to progress and take forward this fight that the president has launched in the government, and be able to push it slowly but gradually but progressively into the other and the lowest offices of government, to ensure that after a certain particular period, we shall be able to really eradicate corruption from our system. And Professor has said a very important thing, that also the judiciary has come out and brought in some new ways of handling these corruption cases, where a case has a very short timeline, and it is we have also hefty fines on those who are found culpable of stealing public offers. I think that is a part of the progress that we are making, and it's quite a commendable job.
Mm-hmm. Very well, Karen, end it for us. What is wrong with our implementation stage, and how can we make it better for us to win the war against corruption?
Yeah, Miriam, what is wrong with the implementation stage is that the way Professor said, it takes too long before we do away with issues and cases, because we want to finish up something on time. When it takes longer, then at times some other things could come up in the middle and we forget about it altogether. And it takes years and years. People keep on committing economic crimes, and because of the longer period it takes before we do away with these issues, then we find that we've not moved anywhere. We're still there. But so far, I would like to thank the president, together with Wesonga, what he is doing. The heavy fines we're seeing, like the Lucas case, and I know more and more yet to come. However, we need to make things short. You know, with the judiciary, if we're dealing with a case, let's make it shorter, and with that, we'll be moving somewhere, Miriam.
All right, very well. Professor Jared Onyari, thank you so much, sir, for your time today. All right, Daniel Wesonga, thank you so much from Nairobi. It's very cold here. And Karen Josephs, who is enjoying a lot of sunshine there in Malindi. Thank you so much for finding time and joining us today. Thank you all. And I will end with perhaps two of our viewers' comments that have been engaging with us here actively. Sidonio Givandas from Mozambique, you're saying in Mozambique we managed to arrest the Minister of Finance and the son of the ex-president, including senior government officials, including the intelligence chief. That is very good. Thank you so much. And Ina Hassan, you're saying we need to learn from countries like Singapore on how they eradicated corruption. I think defeating corruption is possible. So you're telling us to borrow from the best practices across the world. Thank you so much for engaging with us. My name is Miriam Ogutu. A very good afternoon to you.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.